You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the July 13, 2023 meeting of the Michigan City Board of Aviation Commissioners. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Meeting is 103 Michigan City Airport for the July 13th monthly meeting agenda. Members present, board members, Greg Poulin, Kirk Hunter, myself, Jeff Bartlett. Others present, we have Jessica Ward, Airport Manager, Katie England from BFNS Consulting. We do have a quorum. Members absent, T.Y. Okusum. Reading of the minutes, June 8th of 2023. Did everybody get a chance to see those that Jessica passed along? Any questions?
No questions. I move that we accept them as written.
And do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Reports, financial, July 2023 account balances.
All right, here we go. So everybody should have their financial report here for account balances. Account balances are looking good. That's not all.
That's it?
That's no major changes from an operational budget standpoint from last month, except our liability insurance line. If you look for liability insurance there, we are a negative 1,005. So we generally have a 3-year renewal term for our airport liability insurance. It ended July 1st this year. General Insurance is the one that does all of our city insurance. They reached out to 3 companies for a quote. Chubb quoted $23,115, which is $7,705 per year. Global Aerospace declined, and Star Indemnity quoted $39,371, which is $13,123 per year.
Wow.
So our expiring premium with Chubb for $6,700 per year. So we have an increase in $1,005 per year for our 3-year term. The 15% Chubb increase is more than favorable than the 30+% increase we had in 2020. And it's in line with market conditions.
Okay.
The city controller has approved the term with Chubb. We have increased our budget request for our liability insurance line for next year by $1,005 to meet that premium. In the year after we will, but of course this year it ends, while we already have our insurance set for this year. And so I have to come up with the $1,005 somewhere else, which, I'm pretty good at moving money around and figuring it out. So I will be doing that. So there you have it. That's what's going on with our liability insurance. So a couple things at the bottom. The raised grant encumbrance had a draw for $1,000 for the runway extension marketing plan work. Remember, Paul gave us that cute little handout, or maybe Andrew did. And,
Yeah, it was nice.
It was very nice. I had a couple changes. I just gave them to Katie today. Katie's the one that did it. Yay, Katie, good job. We loved it.
That was great. And that's great to hand out to people for that proposal, so it's very nice.
Yeah.
We can't picture everything together.
Right.
So it's very nice.
So yeah, she's gonna just make a few changes, and then she's gonna submit it back to me, and then I'm gonna be able to take it to Katie, who's the chamber president, so she's gonna get it, and then I'm gonna go to an EDC meeting for here, and I'm gonna give them, and I'm gonna talk about it, and give them the pamphlet too to hand out for whoever they
Nice.
think
Okay.
could use it. So
Do you want me to print off like 30 and have them shipped to you?
that would be awesome, because I don't have a fancy, pretty colored printer.
Gotcha.
I just have black and white.
Sure.
And those are way prettier.
30s is
I think that'll be
good?
plenty.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be really great to have, so. So that, if you look down here, raise grant, we had a draw on 713 for $1,000, so we have 12,840 in there. If anything, it's just gonna be the changes that she makes, shipping them all out to us and whatever, and so, then that's just gonna be the end of what we used for that. That was an encumbrance from last year. We already know the hangar lights was closed, the above ground fuel, that's still open for the 800,000. And then the SRE building, we had a draw for, I don't even know what the draw, 194,000 was a draw. We started at the 394,812, so that encumbrance is closed now. Ramsey is closed. So we're on to our bill funding for the SRE building. We started with 394,812.95 this year for the SRE. So the beginning is the 176,666. That's for the grant. You see that? And that's the beginning of our bill funds. I just did the first draw on, today, when you guys approved that, and that's the $29,847.50. So I had to kind of split the payment, you know what I mean, to come from the encumbrance and close that out. And then the bill, we have not gotten that grant yet. It should be coming here really soon, like literally by the end of this week or next week.
Okay.
We should get it. And so I had to take the $29,847.50 out of that fund, you know, that's gonna go into. And then, so currently we have $146,818.50 available for that. So for our change order, we can have $7,078.95. That's what we have available for change orders. That's probably all. I hope there's no more change orders because I really want that to go all for the light being installed on top of this building for the ramp lighting. But I think that quote came in at 14,000, so we're gonna have to come up with another, 7,000 somewhere else for it. Or maybe it was gonna be 10,000, so maybe it's just 3,000 we might need. If there's no other change orders, then that's just gonna go straight to installing the light on top of the building.
One question.
Yeah,
This raise grant, that's not the same raise grant that we were gonna,
it is.
it is this,
It is the same, but remember we wanted to do the BCA first, and we wanted to see if we were gonna pass the BCA. But remember, airports, they don't line up as well as like traffic
Right.
projects, so it wasn't gonna work out for the airport project. So instead, we turned that into this marketing plan, which is the pretty little thing. The board decided that we wanted to do the marketing plan so we can sell the project, you know what I mean? And hopefully get some, legislative support and support from whoever wants to put money into the project, So it turned into that. So that's what we're using with that money instead.
okay.
So no, we're not gonna apply for the race grant.
Right.
I will keep checking the notice of funding opportunity every year it comes out because they keep changing the rules. So if they make a change or widen the criteria where we could put the
Yeah.
airport benefits into the benefit cost analysis, then that would definitely tip it over the 1.0. But we were coming in at like 0.74. And
Which is still pretty close, actually,
it's
for
pretty
not being
close.
able to put the most
I know.
important part in.
Not being able to put the most important
Right?
benefits in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they've changed the criteria the first 2 years, and there's 3 more years of it, so we'll just keep looking.
Do we have any update with the FAA or even downstate? I know that South Bend was taking care of some airport improvements. Indianapolis was too.
On the supplemental?
Yeah, where we
They
sit.
didn't come out with that.
I was gonna say, did you get a ding letter?
I did.
A ding email this week?
I did.
Yeah, do you want?
Yeah, we
What
did
good
get the
that
letter saying, sorry, friends, your project wasn't selected.
All right. Because I know they
That
had.
sounds like a rejection.
Yeah, we put in the whole project too. We're like, come on, this is a great project for this money.
Well, I filled out something for our local representative because Indiana said they had $1 billion surplus. We're like, what should we spend it on?
Yeah, I sent it to every legislator
Here's a
too.
nice-
We filled out all.
We just need a little
Yeah.
22 million, that's it.
That's all.
So the state got 26 million
22.
in a line item total.
Is it more now?
But
I know,
it's
Yeah.
earmarked for the big 4.
Nice.
but it discovered that.
Earmarked for the big 4 guys.
All
Sorry.
right. Thanks, Jessica, on that.
Yeah.
Fuel sales?
Fuel sales, overall, we sold 2,564.3 gallons of 100 low lead, 2,730.4 gallons of Jet A, and 353.3 gallons of Swift fuel in June. Our current fuel prices are $5.16 for self-service avgas, $5.36 for full-service avgas, $4.20 for self and full-service Jet A, which dropped 58 cents with our last purchase.
Wow.
So that was awesome. I got a full load, dropped to 58 cents a gallon. And we're at $6.25 for self-service UL 94, and that dropped 20 cents with our last full load purchase. So that's
TY
awesome
will be
too.
happy.
Yeah. So we are gonna need a load of avgas here soon. I'm watching pricing and we'll hopefully be able to lower our price there with our next load of avgas as well. Right now I can only take about 6,100 gallons and a full load is like 8,500. So I'm kind of watching there to see if we could get a split and I can lower the price, that'd be great. Because of course Oshkosh is coming up. You don't want to be low on fuel because every truck on the planet is going to Oshkosh with fuel. They're not coming here,
Right.
And so it's important to make sure that you are stocked well before then. So I'm just watching fuel prices and within the next week I'm gonna have to order before they all head that way.
When's Oshkosh?
It is the last week in July.
Well, and like our fuel prices are very competitive compared to everybody else in the area, so it's very good.
Yep.
All right, thank you. On airport manager self-service fuel pump repair, what's an update on that, please?
All right, so we have lots of exciting things there, right? So, you know, the avgas, I kind of left in some of my old notes for you, Greg, because you missed the last meeting, but the avgas floating suction arm was repaired and the project was completed the third week in May, okay? So since then, we've still been having an issue with the priming, like the pump's not holding the prime, okay? So the floating suction arm's repaired, they've installed a new check valve already, but it hasn't fixed the issue. So they've been researching the problem. They send out texts all the time to try and figure it out. Like, oh, they hear, like they've literally been contacting like everyone else that does this kind of work. And they're like, try this. And so they'll send a tech out to try, like it's literally, they've like exhausted every option of, there's nothing left to try, I'm pretty sure. So the only thing that they haven't changed out is a new pump, $6,000. And if that doesn't fix the priming issue, we can't send it back. So it could be spending $6,000 for nothing.
Yeah, I don't want to spend like a what if.
That's the only thing left. So
That's the only thing left?
that's it. So we may just have to have a sign on the avgas cabinet that says, hey friends, if it's not working very well, try this little trick.
Have they pressure tested all the lines, make sure we're not,
They've done it
we're
all.
not back feeding or anything?
Yep,
Really?
yep. So, so literally this is what you have to do. When you get out there and it's not working, you squeeze the handle and it looks like it's gonna work. It'll like gush out and then it'll go trickle, 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 like at like maybe 0.6 of a gallon. It just stops working. Not even a whole gallon you get, right? And so then nothing comes out. You can hold the handle for 10 years and it's not gonna bring any fuel out. You have to let go of the handle. You gotta wait 10 seconds. Then you have to squeeze the handle again. And then wait 10 seconds. And then let go of the handle again. And then wait 10 seconds. So it's just kind of like a 10-second wait. And usually by the third or the fourth, it's never been longer than 4 for me, at least for the last 3 weeks. You squeeze it, you know, like the third or the fourth time, and then all of a sudden it just picks up and it's golden for the rest of the time, no issues. And sometimes it'll hold that, like if there's somebody else that comes in 20 minutes later, they don't have to do that at all. It just automatically is working. Sometimes they'll come in 20 minutes later and it won't work and they got to do it all over again. It's just, you never know. It's just a weird thing.
Could the check valve be bad?
So that is another thing that they said, even though they just put in a new check valve, they're like, shoot, it's cheap enough. Maybe we'll try to put in a different check valve and see if that's what the problem is. But it's already a brand new check valve.
Yeah.
So they might try that. So he actually, my colleague, he's the manager at Northern Indiana Mechanical. I just asked him to write a note, you know, to the board just saying, this is, you know, so he says this is his letter that we just got today. I'll put it under correspondence because we just got it. It says Northern Indiana Mechanical perform repairs of floating suction per proposal 70917. It was billed on the invoice number. The amount is $28,731. After completion, intermittent problems occurred with the pumping unit, which are completely unrelated to the work performed in the proposal, which we knew already. We're working on a solution to correct this problem. They're either going to replace the brand new check valve or they're going to change out the pumping unit if that's something that the board's interested in for $6,000 for maybe nothing. But they're working closely with me to get the problem resolved. So that's a letter that he wrote because I'm asking, you know, the board, I'm going to pay this invoice, you know what I mean, for the floating suction arm repair.
Yeah.
So here's the proposal. They billed us exactly the proposal amount, $28,731. And then remember last month, or maybe even the meeting before that, I talked about the extras that were related. Remember we had to do the water sampling, the de-water, and so that was $1,008.1820. So I'm asking the board to approve. So I didn't put it on this claims docket because I wanted board approval before it's even on the claims docket, and so I'll have it on next. But if I can pay that, it's gonna be, the total cost is $30,549.20.
But the total cost of the thing was like, what, 100?
The total cost, well, the total cost is the $30,549.20, but that is, it's $28,000, but adding in that little water sampling for $1,800. So it's a $28,000 project,
And that
$29,000.
completes everything with they're still gonna be trying to help us out with
Yes,
troubleshoot.
yes, but I just wanna make sure that we pay this because it is not
Yeah.
related to this at all.
No, we owe it to
Even
them.
though, you know, they're still, you know, coming in and how, it's not related to it. The floating suction arm is working great. There's no problems there. They can get fuel from there just fine. It's just out the
Yeah.
regular pump. So
All right. Well, is there a motion to finish and approve the mechanical for $30,549.20 to
I'll make
complete
the
the
motion.
floating suction project repair?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Oh. All right. So I am gonna put a note on the cabinet though, because I think it's time, I've been waiting because I was like hoping it would just resolve itself, but I mean, we've even filled up the truck quite a few times, and I mean, we'll put like 1,100 gallons in the truck, you know what I mean? That's a lot of fuel pumping out. It's nothing to do with how much fuel is or isn't going out. It's something to do with, I don't know, it's the check valve or something, the pump, we don't know.
Yeah, maybe we can do like a laminated, nice.
So that's what I'm gonna do. That just says, please don't give up.
Forgive us.
It works.
but, Yeah, we're just trying to troubleshoot right now.
Stop trying.
Well,
So,
did they say that the pump might be the issue? Is that one of the things that they actually said?
it's the only thing left to be an issue.
You guys used to scare me with all the numbers you'd throw around here, but $6,000 doesn't scare me anymore.
So it's like, it's the only issue that there could be. But the problem is there's no returns.
Well, I
So
understand that.
if we put in the $6,000 pump and it still has the same issue, they're gonna be like, thanks friends, have a good time. Like, that's it. There's nothing else.
Well, is there a secondary market on that pump?
I didn't ask him that actually, but
I mean, you could recoup maybe.
yeah, maybe, I don't know.
I mean,
I think suction leak.
huh?
I don't know. I don't know. What kind of pump is it?
It's a pump from
No.
2000.
Positive displacement?
I don't
Vane
know.
pump, what?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Just giving you all that.
Take a look at it.
All that boat stuff.
It would probably be the pump.
If we replace everything else, and what else could they do?
Yeah, the only other thing they can do
Yeah,
is replace the check, and he said check valve, I mean, it is a possibility you've got a bad check valve. I mean, it's happened before, right, in the
Sure.
world? So that's way cheaper, of course, than, replacing the pump, but that's it. Those are the only two things left, is it could be the check valve, the brand new one that they just put in, or else it's the pump. Or else it's neither of those things and it could be nothing, because those are the only options
Well,
left.
it is something.
So are they
Yeah.
gonna come out and change that check valve?
I think so. I think,
Yeah.
that's our next plan, is
I would
to
certainly
at
try
least
that.
try that.
Check valve, give us a month, and we'll put our heads together, and then we'll make a final decision next month.
Yeah.
If we gotta do the pump, then that's.
Yeah, I'll need to ask the council for money, because I don't have that kind of money anywhere, so.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, we're not gonna see above ground tanks for
No,
2 years at best.
It'll be a while.
you can't keep doing it, you can't keep doing that.
That's vague enough.
Well, they said at least, I mean, the last time we looked, it's like even just to like get all the materials, you can't get the materials until you bid the project. You can't bid the project until you have the money. And so we're like in this kind of middle ground, because remember, we were gonna ask, we applied for the bill. Remember, we asked the FAA if we could use the bill money for our last 4 years. We're gonna go towards that. So Paul has it all figured out of exactly how much the FAA will pay for it, because they're not paying the whole 800,000. So they have exactly, they're only paying for the difference in
Capacity.
the capacity. That's it. That's all they're gonna, they won't pay to take out the tanks. They won't pay for just the tanks. It's just only the capacity. So Paul has that number figured out. This is how much that they're gonna pay. And so then we were waiting to see, of course, if the state passed the 50-50 local state grant. And they did, they passed it. We didn't know any information about that yet, so we didn't wanna go to the council and the controller and the mayor and be like, oh, hey, this is an option, if we didn't know if it was gonna pass or any information on it yet. So we got the information on it, it did pass. So now Paul just sent me over his availability today, he's sending it if he hasn't yet, of when we can meet, like his availability. I'm gonna get with the controller and the mayor and get their availability, and we're gonna have a sit down and decide what they want. They have to decide, not me. I mean, it's them, So the mayor and the controller have to decide if they want us to apply for a 50-50 grant, which we'd have to wait till next summer now, because all of the first 50-50 money was earmarked already for certain projects. So that'd be
That
next
happened,
summer,
we didn't get on board.
right? Well, it's for big airports too, and other things, so.
Great sucking noise from.
But, so we can either apply next summer for that, or we can go to the council and be like, hey, this is as much as we're gonna get back. We thought we were gonna get back almost the full amount, and that's not true. So we already have the $800,000 for the project. The council's already given it to us, but they gave it to us knowing they were getting most back. So we have to go back and say, sorry, that isn't the case anymore. Is it okay if we still proceed? This is the way that the city decides they want to go, and then the council's either on
What's the
board.
estimate? How much?
I don't have that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Good.
But I think it was gonna end up being only like 30% of the project, if I'm right, wasn't it?
30%.
30%.
So we're working on a few right now. What exactly are you increasing Jet A or 100?
We were only increasing 100 low lead.
Okay.
So, but I think
feel like
that we
it
were gonna
was-
do some sort of Jet A too.
Yeah, so
Try and figure out,
For
like, to
what-
increase both of them at least a little bit and for a regular size tank, so.
yeah, for one tank,
We're
it's
working on
going
it.
for about 450 right now.
Right.
So you don't have to straight double that for two, because you get some cost savings on labor and
Sure.
Yeah.
materials and
If we
installation.
had a longer runway, we get more jets in here.
So, yeah,
Get more
the-
jet fuel.
the estimate that we do have for the project was $800,000, which is why we asked the council for that. So that was our engineering estimate for installing 2 tanks and pulling out the old ones. But we thought we were gonna get back at least like 770 of that, and
Right.
it's just not happening, so. So yeah, so that's where we're at with that. So we're working
Still a
on
pretty
it.
good deal. 50,
Yeah.
50. I mean,
And that's a good deal, and so is even getting 30% back, because if
Right.
we didn't have the bill money, this is not eligible for any FA funds, like, this is all local. You know, it just, we happen to have bill money, like, come in and, you know, the 50/50 grant match back, so, I mean, we're way luckier than we ever would have been
now we've been
without
struggling
these two
with
things.
these underground tanks for a while.
We have been,
Yeah.
Since I've been here.
Yeah.
yep.
Since I've been here.
One thought that Paul had was to reach out to NDOT to see if they would allow you to apply as a reimbursement.
Oh, he didn't tell me that, awesome.
So that was a thought he just had today. And
Yeah,
I tried to call
very
NDOT and I
cool.
couldn't get anyone on the phone, but they may not know, but we could. Cause so typically FAA projects are reimbursement for construction. I
Yeah.
know fuel tank's a little different, but that could be something there's no guarantee that NDOT's gonna award you a grant, but
Right.
to know that the program's coming and you don't have to wait to do the project until you get the grant might
Yeah.
help.
Yeah,
We have to
It's all
bid
a
it
cash flow
Yeah,
type question, so.
no, that's great.
yeah, that's interesting, good.
Which leads us to NDOT airport inspection.
Yes, the chief airport inspector from NDOT did an inspection on the airport for compliance with Indiana safety regulations. It's an annual inspection that we have, and there were no deficiencies, we passed, so.
Excellent.
I'm waiting on a certificate.
You're supposed to leave one red herring out there, so that,
Right.
oh, you got me.
So they feel,
Well, right.
they feel good.
Check it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm just
I didn't make that up.
waiting on our pretty certificate for the wall, and we're all set.
Excellent. Oshkosh specials, anything?
Oshkosh specials, yes. Hot dogs, chips, bottled water, probably cookies, because I love them, are going to be available for free the week of Oshkosh. Probably like 11 to 2-ish, or 11 to 3, or something like that. Free with fuel purchase. We love when they purchase fuel, and then we give them free food, right? So we're gonna have that. It's posted on the EA Air Venture page, as well as Global Air has an Air Venture page. It's on there as well. I also am doing a 5-cent discount. Normally I do way bigger, but that's because usually we're way more competitive with like Velpo and the Port, but right now we're way lower than them. So I'm only doing a 5-cent discount, and I will, manage that closer. If for some reason they drop it like crazy or something, then I'll do something
That's on our
willy-nilly.
webpage too, all that good stuff?
Yeah, that's
Nice.
gonna be, so 5-cent discount on fuel for that week as well. And yeah, oh, and I did just get confirmation that Thursday, the 20th, on the way to Air Venture, usually people don't start heading up till like Friday, but this group is 16 T-34s.
Cool.
They're gonna be here.
That'll be neat.
Lunchtime, Thursday the 20th. Write it down if you're in town, because that'll be fun to see.
I'll have to check, make sure that they know all the procedures. Right?
Those are the Navy T-34s?
I'm not sure. they've never been here, so I don't know.
They have new trainers, don't they?
T-34.
I don't know. They have new trainers, there's new
Yeah,
trainers
it's
now.
a new.
Oh, yeah, no, wait, are they Charlies or Bravos?
I don't know. They just called and said we're gonna have 16 T-34s on your ramp. That's it.
Well,
That's all I got.
they're turbines.
I don't know.
The Bravo was
Are they civilians?
piston.
Civilian?
I'm assuming yes. They did not sound
They're the
military.
Bravos. Probably the Bravos.
So that's very exciting. And of course I told them, well gosh darn, if you want to go to lunch in town, I'd be happy to shuttle you all to lunch.
If you buy me one, yeah.
So I'm gonna be shuttling people to Hammers. I'm gonna call Hammers and let them know there's gonna be this many people on that Thursday, be ready. And then I'll be shuttling them all over and shuttling them all back. So it'll take,
That'd be fun.
14 trips in the truck. Or else hopefully I can get something else, maybe the
Where's the
van
van?
back for just that week.
What about,
You can drive the van.
Yeah, I can drive the
So,
van. So I guess it's at Transit. Transit has it now, so I'm gonna call her and see if it's not
Reserve
busy.
it. Just
Yeah,
park
reserve it.
Park
Or
it
else
over
Kirk and I, if Kirk's in town, Kirk and I, we can
Park it.
double drive or something.
Tell them we'll store it. We'll store it for free.
So there you have it, right?
Well, thank you. This leads us to airport development. Katie from Grant Finance.
So we have one action item for the board, which is pay application number 3 for New Tech for the SRE building. And that total is $197,980. I believe Jessica has it included in the claims for this month.
Yep.
So all we're asking for is board approval. And if you have any detailed questions about the SRE building, I will defer those to Jessica.
Here I am, ready to answer any questions you have.
I move we accept approve the payment of the, what was it, 130?
197,980.
197.
Second?
Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, I'll jump around a little bit. We'll stay on the SRE building. So just a little bit of an update there. There's some ads that we had on this last pay application, also some deductions, and the substantial completion date is September 30th, 2023. But I think Paul might have indicated they're moving a little bit ahead of schedule.
I think we're probably, it looks like August 22nd is gonna be the final grade and seating. So they have this cool app that I downloaded, the Co-Construct it's called, and you download it and it tells you like all the progress they've made, and so we have 100% on the lot. And so they're installing wall insulation and baffles, ceiling liner and wall sheeting.
Nice.
And so that's this month. HVAC trim is this month.
Cool.
Install gate posts, they already did that. Install the gates after the poles have been set, they're waiting on that. Call NIPSCO for gas service, I already did that. That is fun. So you have to fill out this form now, this like huge like form to like request gas service. And so of course it's like me, like what kind of gas service do you need? Like all these like weird little things. I'm like, I don't have any idea. And so I called
put one
Shane, I'm
down.
like, hey Shane, friend, I'm gonna send you over. I filled out everything I know, you fill out the rest. And so he, filled out the rest for me and then I sent it over. So we're waiting for gas service.
Are we still good? That 811 call before you dig? Are we still marked all that stuff?
Yeah, they're gonna have to remark.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll remark for that. And so it looks like NIPSCO installed gas line and meter. Maybe they have that scheduled already because the scheduling goes through Shane because he's in charge of the project. August 11th, they have that written down. So maybe that's a scheduled thing. So by August 22nd, that should be the final grade and seating and,
We'll do
paving August 16th. So, but yeah. They
So
have
there'll
the
be a
whole list
final,
here.
the final walkthrough, I'm sure, with a punch list, and
Yep.
I would assume Paul will try to make it over for that. Just make sure everything's wrapped up. So regarding the bill grant, Jessica covered that. It is with Deb Bartel and Rob Esquivel for final review. They've been telling us that for a couple of months now. So our recommendation to Jessica is if that doesn't come through for electronic signature this week or next, is she actually needs to call Deb and just be like, hi, I know you have a stack of grants. Can you please move ours to the top?
Okay.
Because
Because
they're,
we're already paying out of it, really.
yeah. And Deb and Rob are after it's already gone to headquarters and what they call OST sign off. So honestly, it's probably just like a bottleneck type thing, and Deb has a lot she needs to sign. But if you call, tell her about the project. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on that. Andrew's copied on all those emails when it comes through. Who are the signatories?
It's gonna have to, Jeff's gonna have to sign, unless
Okay.
Kirk's still on it, then Kirk will sign, I don't know.
Okay.
And then after that, Bill Nelson has to sign. So it'll
And
go
we
to
can
him
see
after
all
you
of
guys.
it
Yeah.
in Adobe and see who's opened it, viewed it, if it's stuck, and Andrew's good about poking people to get it signed.
No,
So,
just let us know.
yep.
Because it's just online signature. You just sign online and then you hit submit and then it automatically goes to the next signature, which will be Bill Nelson. But the thing is just with you becoming president and him being president for so long, we don't know which name Andrew
Yes,
actually put on there. So it's either your name is on there now
Okay.
or it was Kirk. So it'll come to one of you. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we really, at this point, we really don't want to like update the form and
Yeah, no.
possibly mix up any
You're
It
fine with
emails.
that.
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's
the
no
vice
matter
president,
what.
president.
You got representation,
Yep.
Yes.
so, okay,
Yep.
perfect. That's all we
Yep.
want.
So yeah, I actually asked Jessica, I was like, did you get the email in the like 3 hours since I left the office today?
Right.
She's like, no. But yeah, we truly do think it's any time now. So jumping back up to the runway 220 extension, Jessica covered the marketing plan. We will revise that, get that updated and copies sent to her. I did have a couple of other things regarding funding, but first just wanted to see if you had any specific questions about, next steps or where the project falls or FAA reauthorization, any of those things.
I did let you know already when you came that with the land swap thing that it's sitting, Amber and Skylar we're waiting on them in the city.
And they said they have a lot going on right
Correct, yeah. And so, Bill has been working on it and has been moving it, and BF&S, they've been working on it too. So, it's in a good spot, but it's just stuck right now, and as soon as it gets rolling, I'll let you know right away.
Where do we stand for, if anything, are we gonna have any delays if this doesn't get approved before we have to start doing stuff all over again, or how does that work with?
So the only thing you'd have to, you've come so far and you've got so many of the
Right.
planning steps checked off. The only thing that's gonna possibly need to be looked at or reevaluated again would be the environmental. And what happens is we get different interpretations when we ask the question of, okay, well, when does the clock actually start?
Right.
So you currently have a design grant open, right? Or no,
Well,
that
it's
wasn't
closed.
Okay.
Well, we are working on land swap stuff.
Yes,
And
so
so-
we feel like the clock is still open and going, and we haven't run into any of that sort of deadline
Okay.
or when things time out.
Good.
Even if they do, we ran into this at Portland, it's a really quick email to Bob Beauchamp to do a reevaluation. They don't even issue memos for it. You just
Okay.
get an email back that says, nope, everything still looks great. So
Perfect.
there shouldn't be any, you guys have come so far.
Right.
You're all the way to like the 5-yard line, and it's literally
And there
just
hasn't been any
funding.
other huge changes out here around the perimeter that would cause anything to be like, whoa.
Right. No, no.
Brakes on it, so.
So,
okay.
No.
purpose and need is good for how long?
So typically 10 years.
10 years.
But again, that's 10 years of no activity. Depending on who you ask and what counts as activity, you haven't actually started the 10-year because you're
We're still doing
doing
little
stuff.
things.
You're doing little
Perfect.
things. Yes.
Okay.
So it's still good. So it would be like right now, if the land swap stopped and you guys didn't get the utility relocation agreement or anything for like 10 years, then we would start to worry.
Okay, good.
But we don't think it's going to be that long of a delay.
Right.
So yeah, so right now NDOT and FAA have the utility agreements in fiscal year 2026.
Okay.
Of all the money and all the different programs we've been talking about, the AIP is still your best bet because that's 90% federal funding with just the 5% state and the 5% local. So even the raise grant was only going to be 80%. So.
And then we were gonna be 20, so.
Yep.
It's not like 5%.
Yep, so, and then just a quick update on FAA reauthorization at the national level, that's set to expire September 30th, and the House has passed a bill that has an extra $1 billion in it for AIP. So if that were to get passed, that's really gonna kind of open things up a little bit, and we might see some movement for you possibly back into 2025. However, if you've been paying attention anytime over the past 5 years, continuing resolutions are typically what happens for a few months into every fiscal year. So we're hopeful that's going to happen. There's also some changes to the PFC charges that the larger airports pay, and those are going to benefit GAs. So basically they're reducing the percentage of those that go to the commercial service airports. personally, I think it's because the bigger airports are getting so much more money right now.
Right.
To benefit the GAs, because the GAs are the ones who, runway rehabs are starting to get delayed, things like that. So we're keeping a really close eye on that. Paul's really watching that for our team and gave me a good download on that today. So anytime you're having conversations with any of your representatives who might know somebody in DC and they want to lean on someone and try to get the FAA reauthorization bill passed, that would be helpful.
Right.
And that's part of what your plan will do.
So-
Yes.
Conversations.
Those conversations.
Is the FAA still on the focus that we're going to finish the projects? We're gonna
Yes.
finish
So-
these on-board projects, or?
Yep, and that's what I was looking at. I got a copy, I forgot to print off a copy of your CIP that you submitted versus what NDOT came back with. And what I see is really great is for the utility agreement, they've got 3.1 million in the discretionary funding column. That's good.
Right.
That's a really strong indication that that's the year they want to do it.
And what year is
And
that?
that's in 26.
Oh,
So,
sweet.
I mean, you've been ready to do the utility relocation for what?
It's on the list.
2 years?
Years, yeah.
So yes, it is on the list.
It's only 3 years.
Well, and you know what? September,
been 30, so
October
it's
1st is 2024. So then it's only 2 years, right?
Right.
So
There you go.
yeah,
Think positive.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
really hoping that extra billion comes through.
Cool,
Alright.
thank you.
And then the fuel farm, I think Jessica covered that. So unless
Yeah.
anyone has any questions, I will
No, thank you.
I will
for
stop there.
All your work that you've been
Yeah,
advising us.
thank
Thank you. Old business. There's nothing on there. New business. Nothing there.
Nothing.
Claims docket. Everybody get a chance to see the claims docket for $72,998.03.
I didn't look at it.
I didn't see anything other. I saw there was like a Comcast back in May. I think another.
Yeah, because Comcast, the city pays that,
Yeah.
so it's on there.
Right.
If our meeting has already been through, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
When it goes through, then it's on our.
I didn't see anything else.
Yeah, those are all
Yeah.
EFTs, so those are automatic fund transfers.
Okay.
And if it's not on something else, then it'll be on the future,
Yeah.
next claims
All right.
docket.
Give Kurt a chance to take a look at it first.
Verizon is
I'll make
an
the motion
EFT.
that we approve.
All right.
Once Kurt reviews it for $72,998.03.
Yeah. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries for the claims docket for $72,998.03.
And correspondence, I am gonna put, this letter from Mike in here.
Okay, thanks. Public comment. Anyone?
I do have one question.
Yeah, if you would just introduce yourself for the camera record, please.
Paul Walson. Get it, Paul.
Thank you.
I would imagine that eventually we're going to have to switch to the new G100L fuel. Has there been any thought of how to switch from 100 low lead to that new fuel? And I know it's not anytime soon, but
Like a transition period or something, how to...
well, yeah, I know that since we're talking about doing the new fuel tanks, I don't know how that works, if there's anything that could be done now to make that transition easier in the future, but I assume in 5 years, people will be switching to that instead of 100 low lead.
We also assumed 5 years ago, and 10 years before that, and 15 years before, no, but that's a
No, it
good
was just
point,
approved
and I will.
last year.
Yeah, I know, it was in there forever, but yeah, no, that's a good point, and I definitely can find out
Now,
if there's any,
Yeah, this is
Looking
different than the Swift fuel, right? This is certified to go with any.
yeah, correct, instead of the
Yeah.
100 low lead,
Very good.
yeah.
now, if you have 100 low lead in there, you can purge the tanks and switch fuels.
Yeah, I don't know, are they gonna need to do that? I'm not
They're
sure.
compatible.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh, really? The
figured.
two together.
That's what I thought it was, yeah.
They turn yellow. It's like yellow and green, or I don't know. But they are intermixable within the airplane. I don't know about within a fuel tank because people are they're gonna want what they're buying probably, but
Yeah,
in the airplane fuel tank, it doesn't.
because I think at some point, I mean, 100 low lead will be gone altogether, so it's like just gonna be a total switch eventually, so, but it's a good question, and I'll definitely look into it and find out if there's anything new that we have to do or whatever, and,
Well, I'm just worried about.
To be ready for the new
Get
fuel.
new tanks, above ground tanks,
yeah,
Are you allowed to put something else in there?
yeah.
Empty it and
I would
purge
say
it?
it's like anything else, if you're at an airport and you have to defuel, there's a whole procedure on not cross-contaminating.
I mean, they're gonna have to do that at every airport, so it's gonna be a big job.
And I don't think-
There's gonna be some sort of, suggestion on how to
Somebody
do
signs
that.
off on it for
Yeah,
liability.
some sort of advisory we'll probably get at
And this
some
is starting
point.
in California, where it's a much bigger focus.
Yeah.
So, by the
No,
time
but it's a good point.
I think
But
it'll be
has it
years.
said, did they say like maybe 5 years before it's widespread, or do you know 5 years to be pretty,
I don't know.
oh, okay.
Katie, do you know anything about that, whether the,
We've heard about 10 years.
Oh, 10 years.
10
See,
years out.
that's why I heard, that's why I said it was like, I swear it was like 15 years ago, it's like within the next 5, and then it's like
Yeah.
within 10, within,
Well,
and
this
it's
is a
just like
different thing. This-
constantly.
So I think this will be in gas tanks in California within the year. Because there's several airports in California that have banned 100 that completely, so people can't get any fuel. So this, I think, it's gonna take.
So yeah, maybe within 5, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's imminent, but
Yeah, it's a good question.
I'll ask Paul.
it wouldn't be a good time to buy
Yeah.
new fuel tanks that are not compatible with the new fuel.
Right.
I assume that everyone's on top of that, but.
Well, and we have a few clients who are actually putting in new fuel farms right now, like DeKalb. So, and I know Russ would probably be up to speed on that. So I will ask the specific question, can you empty an existing tank and put in new fuel, or like what
what's the
other
process?
changes would you have to do
Yeah,
to
okay.
get the fuel to come out?
Thanks,
Okay.
Katie. If there's nothing else, how about, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, adjourn.
Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.